Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and somebody sent me this, and it's the outside is terrible. So I recreated it. Not too, didn't take very long, but then he said he wanted it for laser engraving. I don't like it, but I thought I'd show him, and maybe he'll get some ideas. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a copy of that and move it over, just so we can look at it later. Now, if we look at this, the outside is terrible. Two trains of thought on here. We could get the outside shape by taking the smart fill tool and filling that in and then moving that up. And, we could left click, right click, go up to object, break curve apart. And then we have the outside of the S. And you could clean that up. But and that's how I did this one. But there's probably, I started looking at it, there's probably a better way. So we're going to get rid of our box, and we're going to go up here and ungroup this. And now we're going to get rid of the black. And now this wavy line is not very good, but we could fix that. Probably a lot easier than fixing the entire back. So I'm going to take the shape tool at first and just start deleting nodes. Maybe every other node to start with. And I got rid of my yellow box. And that looks really good. Let's zoom in here a little bit. You could maybe even use the smoothing tool on it. But I'm gonna say no, because then it's separating that point right there. So I'm going to call that good. But now what I'm going to do is Control G to group it together. And I am going to use tell you what, let me get rid of the yellow box. I don't know why it didn't group together. Well, it did. Group of 6 objects. Tell you what, let's go and ungroup it for just a second. Then the boundary tool is going to come up. I'm going to create a boundary. Let me move this out of the way. I'm going to take my boundary and have that right there. And now, tell you what, let me get it off the page. I don't ever like moving stuff, so I'm going to move it down and over. Now we got this shape. And we can go to effects and contour. I'm going to contour the outside at first, just that amount. That looks pretty good. I'm going to call that good. I'm going to go to object, break contour apart. Now we have and see, I'm going to back up. See this rough spot? So when you contour, it gets magnified. So let's go back before we kind of contour. And let's get rid of that bad spot. Pretty easily done. Maybe take the shape tool and delete that node and just watch to make sure nothing happens. And that is going to be his call if he wants to fix it by hand and do the same thing there. It didn't really change the shape. We could actually probably get rid of that node, because the less node you have, well, that kind of makes it a straight line. So we're going to call that good. Now we're going to take the zoom tool and grab that and contour it. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go to Object, Break Contour Apart, and I'm going to click on it and Break Curve Apart, because I want to get rid of that little bitty dash right there. Now if you look at it, and he wanted it in black and white. Now, there are some other lines, but you need to really consider what it looks like. So now we're going to take the Smart Fill tool on black and fill that in. And you got to, I don't understand the reasoning behind this, why they even want that. It's just a weird, especially if you're going to destroy it with just engraving it on black. We kind of need to put these two parts together. So I'm going to grab that part and just move it right there and take away that node. You know what? So I'm gonna select them all and hit delete. That got rid of my fill, because now I'm gonna take we're removing the fill. This way we're just gonna move the line and probably move that node. That looks good. Take your virtual segment delete key and cut through there. So that's gonna look more like the S originally. I'm gonna go ahead and, if I delete these nodes, that's gonna happen, so I have to join those two nodes. I'm gonna right click. Well, actually have to go here and join two nodes. Now I can delete that node. Probably delete this node. Maybe even delete that node. Now let's look at it under what it's gonna look like as black. That looks a lot better. Now, I mean, if he wants those interior lines, we could do another little part here. I'm gonna make a duplicate of that, and I'm gonna take away the fill and the outline. And now I'm gonna fill in the inside with black. And I'm gonna move it over here, and I'm gonna left click, right click. Now this time I'm gonna contour to the inside. 0.05 is gonna be too, maybe not. That looks pretty good. So now if we move that back, well, let's do some things first. We got a little part right there, so let's go up to object and break the contour part, go up to object. Sometimes you have to select it all, go up to object. Well, I need to check just that and go up to object, break the curve apart, get that little bitty spot. Now we're gonna move this back, and then we could color in those colors in black. And you get a pretty cool effect, maybe even better. You know, I did a true trace, and I used the 3-point line. If I was gonna use one for a cup engraving, I would definitely use that. Or now this one, you could change the thickness of the lines to a 0.5 point, and that would engrave and look, because that looks more like the original. If you look at them side by side, I was pretty proud of my one in color. That didn't take very long at all. And it's good, sharp, clean lines. So it'd be his call on which one he'd want to use. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.